Thoughts from Society by Quentin, Kyle, Naima, and Chloe. What are your thoughts on the word guys? Language is very cultural dependent. People understand guys to be gender neutral, however, others in the United States may not think so. People can use the word guys very carelessly and aimlessly. In our group presentation, we are going to be focusing on, is the word okay to be used when it is utilized to address females? And does the word actually hold neutral, like a neutral standing for both genders? And should we or will we correct other people when they use the word guys with our experiences and experiences from our peers?
This is Quentin Rucker, and I would just like to speak a bit more about the word guys, particularly the perception guys had of the word. I took a survey and I asked about 15 guys what they thought of the word guys, and a lot of them had pretty similar responses. One of their responses was, I say it as something that's genuinely neutral for everything. I can call a girl or a boy a guy, and they always say, "What up, my guy?" Another one said, I like it. I've called girls guys before. I think it's fine. Another one said, I think it's normal. I could understand how some females could feel about it, since the word doesn't really define them, but I don't see it as an offensive term, so they shouldn't trip. So already, a lot of the guys I've spoken to don't really mind using the word. They use it very loosely. They're definitely carefree about it. It's something that comes out natural to them, and they see it as a neutral term, a word that can be used with anyone. Another response was, I use it instinctively. Doesn't really matter who I say it to most times, as long as I can get your attention. So that's what I was talking about. It's a very loose term. A lot of guys use, and they use it naturally, instinctively. But one of the responses that stood out were, I think it's fine if you're talking to a bunch of guys. If girls are in the group, then it should still work. But if it's just girls, then I don't know if that would be right. This was the only response that I received that implied that it wouldn't be right if you just addressed a bunch of girls as guys. And I thought that was very interesting that I only got one of those out of the 15. I definitely got many responses similar to that. It comes out naturally. I can call a girl a guy, I can call a guy a guy, and I definitely got that it's a very instinctive term that many people use without consideration of who they're addressing.
Alright, so some of the reactions I got from females were actually pretty interesting. For the most part, it was either or. I saw a lot of, I use it all the time, it's normal to me and stuff like that. But in other cases, I kind of got some answers that were a little bit more feministic, and I think that's actually really great. So some of the quotes I got were, the use of the word is dumb. There could be a group of 99 women and one man, and the group goes from being addressed as ladies, women, or girls to guys. The same is not for a group of men. The group of 99 guys doesn't change because one woman is dumb, but that's how we unfortunately were taught to use the word. Another quote is, when used to refer to people, usually it's normal, just guys. I say it all the time when I refer to male and female, but using guys, which is a masculine term. I've thought about it before, how it's definitely sexist, but I can't help but use it. Even within a crowd of just females, I've been ingrained with patriarchal nouns. I don't mind it. I use it all the time when I'm talking with a group of people, whether they're a group of males or females. I use it all the time, but I hesitate. Choose when to use sometimes when it's a group of women or maybe a group of people in the LGBT community, because I know using gender pronouns is a sensitive subject to some. Many of these responses from females are actually very similar. They all had this same idea of, oh, I use it all the time, or I don't use it all the time, or I use it all the time, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to deal with it, because most people are already ingrained with this idea that this is what we've been raised with and we can't really change it. And since it's such a social norm, we can't really do anything about it. So I think it's interesting that people address these problems like that.
Steps towards change. The first step towards change is trying to catch yourself before using the word guys, especially if you realize that it may affect someone in the group. Always try to substitute the word guys for a different word if possible. For example, rather than saying, I'll see you guys later, try saying, I'll see you all later. By using the word all instead of guys, you won't be neglecting any specific genders within the group, or making anyone feel uncomfortable if they do not identify as a guy. Although many people within society do admit that the word guys does not necessarily offend them, we should try our best to not use it. I feel as if tables were turned and people were referred to as ladies rather than guys, their reaction would be a lot more negative. Being called a lady rather than a guy in society seems to be seen as more of a negative thing. I work as a server, and I was taught during training to never use the word guys while serving anyone's table. As servers, we're supposed to use words such as you all or everyone. For example, when I greet any table, whether you're a table full of women or a table full of men, I would say, how are you all doing today? Or how is everyone doing today? Rather than saying you guys. Although I must admit it was a little difficult for me to remember to not use the word guys while greeting a table because I was already so used to calling everyone a guy. But the more and more I practiced using other terms such as everyone or you all, I got the hang of it and I no longer call everyone a guy.